A familiar face sits rocking on a porch, but this porch does not look the same as you've been seeing. Every time you've seen this old man in overalls and a red long sleeve shirt, a gray and white beard, and his big tall hat, he's been rocking on the porch of the well, Miss Tilly's establishment. But now things are a little different. And as you come in closer to get a look, you startle the man. He looks over at you. Oh, well, there you are. I was wondering if you'd stick around or not. Welcome to the beautiful Midland Hotel and Casino Resort. Big name. Matches the place just fine. Bright lights, loud noises, all you can eat buffet. Uh-huh. They even got this new game where you use this broken stick to knock a rock into a prairie dog hole. Call it golf or something like that. There's a bit of a ruckus coming from just inside. What happened? Oh, it's a terrible thing, really. Just terrible, bless their hearts. But how about I show you instead of tell you? I think you're really gonna like this episode. Story. Yeah, I mean story. Whew, that was close. So you guys have been riding your horse now. You know it's about an 8-day walk from Browns Creek all the way to Fort Dallas. And you've been riding for about 3. And you come up to about to get up to the tracks, start following the tracks uh, toward the east, and the sun's going down, and you start seeing this bright light. It looks like the sun may have gone down, but it just stopped right there on the horizon. And as you get closer and closer, it is the Midland Hotel and Casino Resort. It is quite a large establishment, a whole 5 stories tall, out in the middle of this nothing community. It doesn't seem to be a whole lot of homes, doesn't seem to be a whole lot of shacks, but you see the closer you get, more people moving around, and not even 100 yards from the front porch of the casino is a train stop, and there is a commotion going on just inside. Now it's not the normal commotion, Zeb. It's not just your favorite kind of commotion of bells and whistles coming around from slot machines and the tables that you know to be inside. In fact, you probably stopped inside here on your way going out toward Browns Creek. Dr. Hirsch, if you took the train, you definitely came right past this place and saw it. Might even got out for a little look around for a smoke break or something. But there is a ruckus going on inside.
Is that like regular gambling hall ruckus or like a fight ruckus?
Definitely not a fight. In fact, make a perception roll, everybody. It's gonna be versus 2 purples. Let's see. All right. All right. Yeah. All right. So, starting off looking at this, uh, Doc, you're going to take a point of strain. And You will take a point of strain as well, Monroe. But Monroe and Zeb, you will see from the inside that there's a large group. Like this commotion does not sound like a fight. It sounds more like a disaster, like people responding to some sort of disaster. You specifically hear over all of it the cries, the wailing of a woman. As you come up closer to see what's going on inside, you see a fairly large group of people um, standing around, and you can't see where that wailing is coming from. One of the men looks to be holding a very thick book in his hands, where there's a man in a plum suit and a woman in a plum dress. There's also looks to be some workers from the casino trying to calm the people down and help out. There's a man dressed even better, probably a manager, trying to make things better. And there is also there looks to be a couple of lawmen.
Um, so I think what is he looking through a window? Probably Monroe, still probably maybe dismounting from his horse, and tying it up on one of the tie-offs. Kind of looking in there. He would actually take a look around. He obviously we're at the train stop. We're at this building. His initial reaction is to look around and get a gauge of everything outside of this building.
All right. Well, you're going to be able to see quite a lot thanks to all of the lights and the bright light coming off the big sign on the front of the building, Redland Hotel and Casino Resort, flashing its bright yellow, red, and green. From out here, you're easily going to see that there's a few horses that are tied up. It's strange because for the amount of commotion. You know what? Do this. You're looking around. Make a perception roll for me, and you can make it against. Make it against one purple. Oh yeah, I have to go back over to the dice roller. Cool. Oh, bummer. Okay, so you'll be able to see that there's a few horses around, no carriages. You're able to see the train station. Nobody standing over on the train at the train depot, so the train must not be coming through anytime soon. You can see that from your right end, there really are not a lot of homes. So the people that your assumption is that the people who are in there are either people visiting and staying in there, or for some reason the people must live in there.
Are there people outside, or is everybody inside?
There are some people outside. Definitely they don't. In this world, nobody's passing the laws that make you have to smoke outside, but sometimes people want to step outside for a smoke and a drink, and you can see gentlemen shaking hands. There's some ladies out there doing a little business.
And last question, would the plum attire mean anything to me?
The plum attire, just by looking at those people, when you see the plum attire, it honestly looks like they're just dressed up, and that potentially they are a couple. They plan to dress that way.
Monroe looking back. Well, I guess we probably need to go in there. It sounds like someone might be in trouble.
Well, I hear the familiar call of my dear siren. So if you two want to go in there and find out what's going on. I'd actually like to visit these card tables and help them alleviate some of their wealth.
Doc, if someone's in pain, you think you'd probably be the best one to help them out, huh?
Doc just hands Monroe the reins to his horse and starts walking for the door.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good
Get out of
call.
here.
Here, boy, take my stallion. Take my steed.
Well, I guess if one of us has to be the one that carries the horses, I'll hand him mine too.
So luckily, Monroe, your horse is already tied up, and you'll be able to. You set into the process of. You set into the process of.
I'll tie the horses together. I'll know that they'll just watch each other and not go anywhere.
Perfect.
That's right, face to face.
You watch him. You watch him. My horse is cool. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
If they run off, they're running in circles. They'll be tired when you find them, but they'll be not. They won't go anywhere. Cool, unless you say no horse run backwards. So it's like a dog being chased by his tail. You've never seen that. No. So first one in then will be Doc. Doc, you'll go into. So we got a little bit of a split up here. Doc, starting with you. You walk in, and so how are you handling this? Where are you going?
I assume there's some kind of counter to if I don't know if this place uses money or bullets or tokens of some kind. There's probably
they use money.
Exchange or
you can
the front that some kind of concierge maybe.
Absolutely, there is a place that would be happy to change your money out for chips.
All right, how much money do I have?
We were all given 75 on the way out of town, right?
I'm feeling pretty good. Yep. I've got my gambling friend with me, so can I get like 50 worth?
Absolutely.
Chips?
He's like, yes, here, hold my horse. I'll help them. Wait, gambling?
Yeah. I think I'm just going to wait for some help with the. The Doc is not a seasoned gambler, but knows that he stands to win some money if he follows the bets of his compatriots. So
okay. So then, since that's where you're heading, as soon as you trade in that 50 for 50 in chips, coming up right behind you, you've got Zeb looking at you like, good idea. Zeb, you're up.
So I'm going to go and trade, get my 75 changed, and I'll look at the Doc. So is this your first time in one of these establishments?
It'll be my first time gambling here, anyways.
Well, okay. Then you'll be okay. Just come with me.
Yeah, what game is the money in?
Well, that depends on what you're poisoning. You've got the roulette table over that way. That the dude who's running it looks like he's kind of shifty with that little button up under there. You've got the faro table. That's about as honest as you can get, unless that one fella that's over to the left of him switches in. He's the one that he looks like he's a bottom dealer. So you have to watch. You'll need to pay attention to him.
I think I'll need you to pay attention to him.
There's the,
if you don't mind.
There's the crap table over yonder at the behind. That's kind of over on the side of the bar. I wouldn't mess with that. I wouldn't mess with that. That woman who is talking sweet. No.
I feel like everyone in here seems to be cheating or.
Oh no! Those are the No, I'm pointing you out to the honest people.
Okay.
Yeah. You're going.
Those are the good ones.
Yes, those are the honest ones. The ones that you can, the ones that you know is
Can
cheap.
I change out 25 of these chips back for my money, please? I'm just kidding. Let's get to the tables.
Well, about as honest as you can get of a game is going to be poker. Blackjack is, if you're going card games, it's you either want to go blackjack or poker. Faro, if you just want to sit and punish yourself for a while. Stay away from craps and roulette. That's too much chance. That's much chance that you had for a first time.
But bigger winnings, right? I mean, it comes
Depends.
with
Depends. If you're gonna do the craps, don't talk to the lady. She'll lull you in there and swap your dice for you.
Jim, is there some kind of main attraction in this casino that is obvious?
Oh no! Right now, it just looks like a giant gambling floor.
So where did Monroe go?
Monroe
what did he
comes
do with
in.
Our horses.
While you're going, is there a main attraction around here? You look around, you go, where'd Monroe go? And you look over, and Monroe's just now walking in. Monroe, you're up.
Yeah, I think Monroe would probably maybe have found a piece of, I don't know, scrap or paper or something like that had made its way outside. He's kind of like pulling it out and reading.
It fell out of my book, and it had our debts on it.
And he rips it up and throws it into the wind. No. But yeah, he's just kind of just has this wad of paper, and he opens it up and quickly kind of looks at it over, not thinking anything about it, balls it back up and just kind of puts it into his pocket. So he would probably walk straight to wherever the wailing was coming from.
Okay. So when you come up to the wailing, when you start to sift through all the people, there looks to be a good 7 or 8 staff here, including a manager. But on this wailing, you can see that the man with the big book, it says the good book on it. There's 2 men with stars pinned to their chest. One of them is a tall, dark, and not so handsome man who is well dressed for a sheriff, wearing shirt, trousers, and a vest, and boots without spurs. And his green eyes seem to be catching everything, and his strong jaw clenches the more that woman wails. The other person is I don't know if you've ever seen this kind of guy before, but you've definitely heard about him. He's a dwarf. He's short. He's bearded. You know that they come from way to the north. And it is almost he's wearing an almost comical too tall cowboy hat for obvious reasons. There's also the man and the woman both look to be in their mid-40s. The woman has long red hair that is elegantly coiffed. She's got a thin build, dark brown eyes, wearing that plum dress, and a sharp chin with a pointed nose. The man is in his mid-40s, well-groomed as well, thin mustache, plum suit, light brown eyes, and blonde hair. Beside the both of them is a woman in black and white, not necessarily French maid, but definitely seems to be some sort of attendant to this couple. She's average height, dark brown hair with light blue eyes. And then on her knees, down in the middle of all of this situation, is another woman with short, sandy blonde hair who seems to be small in stature, above average looks, except if it weren't for her cheeks being super pink and her makeup just absolutely messed up from all of her tears. She's pretty, but she's not striking, and she looks to be in her early 20s. And the woman is crying and screaming and sobbing, and in between her crying, you are able to make out little snips of what she's saying. How can it can't be? I miss Sam.
Sam?
Yep.
I think kind of getting over and maybe being closer to the situation than he then realizes. He kind of sees her crying, and maybe even for just a moment she's sitting there crying into her hands, and she's looking up at these other people, and she even like looks past him and looks right at Monroe. And Monroe puts his head down and just like walks right through the middle of this woman crying down on her knees in this group, and just walks right past him, not really knowing what to do, and then heads over to the bartender and says, where's your restroom?
Well, the bartender looks at you and goes, well, hello, sir. Depends. Are you a guest of our hotel, casino, and resort, or are you just passing through?
Yeah, we're guests.
Am I in the hotel?
Yes, sir. You currently are in our hotel.
I am a guest then. All right.
Wonderful.
The bathroom. This could be trouble for everyone.
Oh, absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Yes, help this man to the restroom. And a young boy comes over, maybe 12 years old, to help you out.
Cool. Yeah, I would remove myself to the bathroom.
All right.
What table is furthest away from the loud, obnoxious girl?
From the loud, obnoxious girl, you can easily find. You can find whatever you want. The further you go into the casino floor, the more the casino noise takes over, and you cease to hear the wailing.
All right. So what table do we want to hit here?
Well, Zeb, after he told laid the lay of the land out for the doc, he pretty much has looked for a poker table with the most people that I look like I could get one over on.
All right. Well, Jim's gone. Let's just say we won a bunch of money.
Yes.
Classic.
We won so much money while you were gone. Craziest thing. Is there a way to fudge rolls on this dice roller?
Oh. If you find it out, I want to know. Because this dice roller is about 2 seconds from being my new bones. Okay.
Actually, while he's gone, I'm gonna take a quick break too. Sorry, guys.
Well, I will carry this. So Monroe goes into the bathroom and quickly pulls his pack around and sits it down, and he's looks up into the mirror, and he goes and turns around and he sees that there's a row of stalls and things like that, and he's in front of the sink, and he turns the water on, and it kind of gets to running, and he reaches into his pack, and he runs the hand under the water with whatever he just grabbed out of the pack, and he starts rubbing his hands together and actually starts applying this lather to his face, which has gotten a little scruffy since the travel, and you can see him. He's just kind of looking in it, and he's pulling his face back to the side and like looking at all of this, and he goes in and he starts to shave, and he shaves about half of his face, and he's got the lather on one side still, and he kind of looks in, and you can see him. He's pulling down his eyelids, looking into his eyes. Then he just stretches out, and he keeps going, and he gets everything shaved. He pulls one of the towels off, and he pats his face down, having just beautifully clean shaven his face. And he puts all of his supplies away, turns the water off, and nods at, I assume the child is probably there. He kind of nods to the kid, and he would then turn around and step right back outside of the bathroom. And as soon as he gets outside, he lets out this. He kind of looks back around and he reassesses the situation and sees the woman still wailing, and he would again head back.
You just shave?
I did.
Are you here for the prostitutes? Is that what it is?
They're here for me.
Oh.
Oh.
What's going on here? I mean, you're a gunslinger, right?
Yeah.
Tell all the ladies your stories.
Yeah. Yeah, I sit there and flip the little tiny tin cup around in my hand. Show them all my cool tricks.
Throwing coins up. Well, you don't have coins. You just have extra bullets. So you're throwing bullets up in the air and shooting them. And they're flying off in random directions.
And I shoot that. Then I shoot off into the corner, and the bullet makes a triangle. It's
yeah, you throw 2 bullets and shoot one that hits another one after it fires.
And then that bullet ricochets and breaks a glass. That's exactly how I planned it. I went and shaved.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as you initially walked through that crowd, like, sorry, oh, this is awkward. Oh, this is bad. And then like the whole crowd was like, what? Like almost comically, the whole thing stops. Even the wailing woman just looks at you. And then you walk past, you stop, you look behind you. They're still looking at you. And then while you're still looking, the woman, wah! And everybody goes back into focusing on this situation with the manager trying to calm everything down. The 2 lawmen trying to get everything assessed, and everybody else just having their issues. You then come back out and you go, and the crowd stops and looks at you. And it all goes back to the ruckus again.
Yeah, I think Monroe would wander over, kind of slowly trying to gauge this situation from the outside, trying to maybe figure out the best thing to say. And he would walk to the sheriff and kind of elbow him real hard and say, all right, who died?
And without looking over at you, he just goes, ugh. Like this whole wedding party, the bride or the groom to be was found murdered.
I didn't. That was a joke. I didn't realize.
He looks back at you and he's like, "Oh, damn, sir, I'm sorry. Just move along. I'm sorry."
Okay, my friends are on that side. So, excuse me. Pardon me.
Then walks you. He then walks
back through the.
Yeah, he would definitely just not really. Be like, oh, I mean, this is the fastest. It's me. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
With you, and he walks with you, and you can see him look over at you and squint his eyes, and he goes, "I haven't seen you here before." And he pulls out a notebook and goes, "I'm going to need your name, sir, and your whereabouts for about past 3 hours."
Whereabouts?
Well, yes, if you're at this hotel, you usually could, well, be a suspect.
Name's my name's Monroe. We just got here.
Wait, and he goes, "Wait, who's we?"
Me and
Monroe.
and he's definitely like looking over at his two buddies. And I feel like Doc is definitely giving him the cut sign, whereas Zeb might already be playing cards, not paying attention. And so it was me and
3 horses.
I just see his hand slowly, and it's like them. And he just points at the two of them, and he like thumbs up to Doc.
Yeah, he goes, all right, well, I'm going to need their names. Their whereabouts for the past 3 hours.
Whereabouts? They're right over there. We've been here, just long enough for me to shave. But that's it. I know it looks good.
He looks at your face. And he's like, and you sense that there is a certain like appreciation for your shave job. It's a mighty good job, sir. He reaches up to his own face.
Lots of practice. You'll get better.
So what are your friends' names?
Friends. I might have maybe. Doc is one.
Doc.
Doc. Yeah, to be honest, I'm really having a hard time with his real name, but Doc, he said, it's always like, get in the car, Marty. That's all he really says. Sorry. But yeah, Doc, and then we've got the gambler. He's here. He's here to get some of the Cassini's money. If I could, I'm gonna go. And he kind of like reaches down and like rubs the badge on his chest, and I think he's doing this on purpose. He rubs it, and he wants to get an idea of having been so close to the sheriff in Browns, and also Red, who is watching the horses with Esteban. He's seen deputy badges up close. Is he getting this is real?
This is an absolutely real badge. In fact, as you go to rub it, you do realize that it is immaculate. It is very well taken care of. This man looks to be very well taken care of, to the point that you assume that he probably has to take care of more law business inside of this casino than he has outside.
Well, sir, I apologize. We, my friends and I, we are passing through is probably the best way to put it. We're on our way to Dallas, but we just got here. We came from a little bit further west.
Further west.
Yeah, right. we just got here, as I said.
Oh, okay.
Go, right?
And your friends can corroborate this, I take it, right?
And Monroe just looks at him. They can what now?
They can prove it. They'll say the same thing without you having to tell them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, all right. Sir, if that's all, thank you. Don't be surprised if me or Deputy Smalls comes looking for you.
Deputy Smalls and you, sir?
Yes, sir. He holds out he puts the pen into a notebook and holds out his hand and goes, my name's Buzz Woody.
Buzz Woody? I like you.
Yeah, well, thank you, sir. You don't seem to be too bad. And I hope it turns out that we don't find out you've done killed somebody around here recently. That'd be a real terrible thing to find out. Especially if, you're one of them people who can do it from 3 hours away.
And he walks off.
Cool.
Well, what was that all about?
Let's see.
Yeah, Buzz Woody over there. Were you asking me?
Yeah, Monroe.
Yeah.
Yeah. To us, right?
Yeah. Sheriff Woody over there. Apparently, there was a wedding party, and the groom is dead, and they don't know who did it, and they think I killed him from 3 hours ago.
Oh, good.
Can I get a cool roll from both the Doc and Zeb? And we'll make this one versus one purple, seeing as how y'all had to do without me for a little bit. Oh my. So wait, Zeb, because here's how we're going to do some of this. For this roll, each failure is a loss of $5, and each success is a gain of $5. So, Doc, you've got those 3 advantages.
Can I give him some blue on his gambling rolls?
You can.
I might as well.
Tell me how you do it.
Money. I think he's just kind of encouraged by how bad I am at gambling. He's like, let me show you how it's done here.
Oh, damn. If he's going to lose all his money, I better make it back.
Yeah. Are you guys playing blackjack? What are you guys playing,
It seemed
Clyde?
like we were going to play poker, but Clyde, what do you...
I am playing poker.
So
I let the dog choose his own. But I'm taking him over here with me, and I set him with me. And now watching him lose, I'm kind of torn. I've never found somebody that was that easy to take their money from, but I feel bad because he rides with me. So I'm conflicted. And you said I have 3 blues now? Yeah, I'm really conflicted now. Oh.
Where's the dice?
Oh, I will see. Okay, sorry. Okay,
Yeah, so quite the deal was we were kind of gambling while that was happening with Monroe. Unless you're just deciding that the gambler doesn't need to right now.
Is he gonna roll?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll. I was just I started seeing Matt message me. I was like, oh crap, what's going on? And then I'm making sure that my dice is right. I have 2 yellow, and I got 3 presents, which gives me another yellow. Okay. And I got is it 2 blues or 3 blues before I?
It's 3.
Okay.
Your cool is a what?
2.
And so you have 2 yellows and a green.
Well, my presence is 3. Doesn't it? Does that not give me another?
No. So you take the higher of the 2 numbers, and that's how many dice you roll. So your presence is higher, so it's 3 greens.
Okay, 3 greens. Okay.
And then you upgrade that by the lower number, 2 yellows.
Okay, so it's 3 green and 2 yellows?
Nope. It is.
2 of your greens become yellows because the secondary is 2. So you have 3 as your higher between the stat and the skill.
Right. Oh.
So you get 3 greens, and then 2 of them turn into yellows because your skill is a 2, rank 2.
So 2 yellows, a green, 3 blues, and a purple.
Okay. 2 yellows, 3 greens, right?
Yep.
And 3 purple. No,
Wait.
not 3. 1
No.
purple.
No, stop. 2 yellows, 1 green. 1
2
plus
yellow.
2 plus 1 plus 1. No.
1 green, 2
Right.
yellows,
Uh-huh.
3 blues, 1 purple.
Okay, I got. Now we're cooking with gas. Okay. All right, now I can roll.
Oh my lord. All right. So you just went up $10 there, Zeb, and you can use those. Let's see. You find out that the dealer wants nothing more wants nothing more than to belong. Through your conversations and playing the game, the dealer wants nothing more than to find a place where he belongs. That the other dealers are like a clique, like a club, and he doesn't feel like he's really part of them.
I learned all that from my dice roll.
Yeah.
I'm Kenny Rogers.
From
Yeah.
your 1 green, 2 yellows, 3 purples.
I'm Kenny Rogers.
That right there is the name of tonight's episode. I'm Kenny Rogers. Oh man. Oh, okay. Okay. So you hear somebody in the casino stand up and shout, "I'm Kenny Rogers!" And that's the first thing that you hear above the crying and the screaming after you finish taking care of the horses, Russet.
Righto. I just hear someone yelling, "I'm Kenny Rogers." Shake my head, wondering what we've got ourselves into.
And as you do that, you hear the loud wailing of a woman crying, and you see that large throng of people that looks to be a lot of casino workers. One of them seems to be dressed in the same kind of color as the rest of them, but looks to be holding himself a lot taller, so obviously like a casino manager. You've got 2 men with badges on. One's a man, one's a dwarf. If you haven't ever seen a dwarf, there are Canadians, remember? And there's a man and a woman, both wearing plum. The man's in a suit, the woman's in a nice dress. The couple has an attendant with them, and there is another woman who is still on her knees, crying and wailing. And you hear the sounds of Sam dead. What'll I do?
Miss, are you all right? This could go badly.
Unfortunately, yes. They immediately, everybody, like the earlier scene that we got when our a bit unaware friend walked through the group because he didn't know a better way around them. They see you this time stop, and the woman in her mid-40s in the plum dress lets out a scream and faints. Her husband catches her. The dwarf and the sheriff come over to you, and with aggressive looks on their faces. What are you doing in here? The manager comes running up and sees you, and he goes, "You know that your people are supposed to be in the back."
I put up my hands, my big, very bare hands.
Your hands come up, and the dwarf pulls out his gun. And then,
I'm with them.
Are you still wearing your badge by any chance?
Yeah, I haven't thought of taking it off.
Perfect. So the dwarf sees it. He goes, "Oh no, Sheriff Woody! He killed a lawman and took his badge." And Woody, sir, now listen up, boy. Who'd you kill and where'd you get that? Make it easy for you, and I promise you, you won't have to serve more than 6 years.
So very slowly, I move my hand to the brim of my coat and like separate it as if I'm to show what's behind the coat. And there's a pocket, and I point to the pocket, and I like say that I'm not going to draw a gun or anything like that. And I point to the pocket, and there's a browning piece of paper sticking half out of the pocket, and I slowly take it out and I pass it to him, and I say, "These are my papers, sirs." And it's the writ that the sheriff gave me to show the others if they didn't believe me.
He reads over and he goes, Well, how about that? Deputy Smalls, you can put down your gun. But he killed it. No, here, look at this." And he hands the deputy the paper and then takes the gun out of his hands. Well, this is strange. I can't tell you I've ever seen anything this strange so quickly. I mean, we've got a murder in the casino. We've got a native deputy.
It worked in Blazing Saddles.
You guys are doing great tonight. I love this.
A native deputy.
The sheriff's a native.
Drop it, or I'll blow this native's head all over.
My ears prick up when I say that there's been a murder, and I say, "Well, I'm sorry to walk in on your parade, sirs. Where, as you can see, we're from out of town. But if there's anything I can do to help in this situation, I'm pretty good at crowd control, if you know what I mean."
So you're offering to help?
Well, looks to you like you've got yourselves in quite a pickle. Yes.
Oh, well, and you said you're with. He starts looking around, and there's Monroe just walking back through the crowd. They don't look at you anymore. The husband's trying to wake up the wife, fed her. The girl on the floor is just crying.
Right.
He's like, "You're with," and he sees him and points him, and Monroe stops, and he goes, "You're with him?"
Well, I can't account for what they've done here, sirs. I just came in from the horses. Hopefully they haven't caused any trouble.
You can cohabitate that.
I can't corroborate. Oh, that's perfect. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. He goes, "Well, would you and your friends?" Well, honestly, at this point, I don't know what to do. Me and Deputy Smalls, we don't necessarily have the manpower to take care of something like this. I mean, our don't know if you saw, but when you came up, there's not much of a town anymore. The town took a bet on itself, and this man had an idea to start this, and well, the man set it up, and left us with it, and by God, it's left us doing something great out here. Whole town's moved in here, and well, I mean, the jail's in the back. But we don't got the manpower for this, and be honest with you, I'm not prepared for this. You guys ever handle a murder case?
Exclusively. No,
Well,
that's not true. Sorry.
I have a friend who murdered someone.
3 people.
well, that's real good because I'm sorry, you guys. I love that movie. I love it. So, you guys, he goes, good. Well, we sent a telegram or sent by the wire, try to get, a marshal out here. This is a pretty big deal. And seeing as how this family isn't from around here, they said they came here specifically to have a wedding. So, trick is that, there's a marshal nearby, and he's about 2 hours away. And I'd appreciate it if you could have this taken care of for him. See, me and the marshal we don't we don't go back too well, and I'm afraid that if this isn't taken care of by the time he gets here, I may not be able to stay here. But you think you can do it in a couple hours?
Well,
That would be very bold. I got a couple hours to figure this out. Let's do it.
We've got some manpower at least. We can spread out and do our best. I haven't come from an investigative line, if you know what I mean. I had a different upbringing, but we can do our best, sirs.
Well, what I think you'd be pretty good for is, I'll be honest, there's been some trouble in the past with some infighting amongst some of the employees here, especially those who aren't spent their time singing, or necessarily don't work with the patrons of our fine town, casino, hotel, and resort. I assume that you could do a better job talking to them than I could. Some of them are orcs, and there's a handful who's of natives like you, and maybe you'd be able to talk to them.
Well, sirs, it'd be my pleasure to help in any way that you think is going to be helpful. And certainly, while I haven't seen some of my kin for quite some time, I'm sure that knowing the customs, that we can work something out.
All right. Now, are the 2 gentlemen that are at the tables, are they helping out too? Or he looks over there and he sees one of them going, woohoo! Yes! Keep it going! Zeb's obviously in there winning. But do you think Kenny Rogers? Do you think that they're gonna help out, or your friend here, Mr. Monroe?
Well, once I have a word to them, I'm sure that they will see that we can. Well, how about this? I know my friend Doc. He's the one over there.
I know who Doc is. He already explained to me.
He's quite fond of getting paid. And if there could be, something small that you all could offer if this all goes peachy.
Well, I can pretty much tell you. And he goes, Gabriel, come here. And thin older man with a horseshoe haircut, everything on top is gone. He's wearing small spectacles, looks over, big-eyed, and he comes over wearing the manager's uniform. He goes, what is it, Buzz? You got a lead? He goes, found some people who might be willing to do it, but they think that maybe the incentive of the dollar will move things along quicker. He goes, okay, no problem. So, what, the two of you? Cool, 100 for each of you. Wonderful. If you can get it done, and figure out who did this. And the sheriff goes, if you can do it in 2 hours. And he looks at his watch and he goes, and it's about 8 o'clock right now. And the marshal should be here by about 10.
So, so Russell is he sort of strokes his face. There's no facial hair to speak of, but there's a fur, and he's stroking that, and he's like, "Well, there'll be a couple extras, couple extra people than just two. How about we have 4 people, and we get 60 each."
Okay, fine. 60. 60 for 4 of you. No problem.
All right. So Russell nods his head and he's like, agreed. And I'll go straight over to Doc and I'll say, we've got a job, Doc. 60 pieces of silver each for all 4 of us. If we can solve this murder in 2 hours, you better write it in your book.
Doc pulls out his book and writes down, that might be enough for Monroe to pay me back. What's the job?
We got to solve this murder, and we got to talk to the natives. I'll talk to the natives.
Where's the body?
That's a good question.
You are solving a murder for which you have not seen the body. You agreed to solve a murder for which you have not seen the body. The last time we agreed to something without seeing what we'd be up against, we fought a bug the size of a building.
Well, that is true, and you see Russet's dawning in his eyes.
You might have to give me part of your pay for this. You signed me up for this.
Well, all right. How about you take the lead, and I'll give you like 3/4 of what I get paid.
Okay. Well, you go find the natives in question, and I'll go find the body.
Right on.
Zeb. Is Zeb just still getting paid at the tables here? Or is he joining us for this murder investigation?
Oh. How good? How is the table running?
You're still averaging about up $10.
And how much? I'm not even looking. I was like, and how much are we getting paid for this?
60.
Oh.
And the group explains to you that they want it done in 2 hours. You go, 2 hours? That's it? Okay, cool. I'll get back to. I've got time to gamble after that.
Okay. I'll get up. I'll take my chips. Gentlemen, hold my seat. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I think Doc wants to go ask the sheriff and the deputy to show him to the body.
Okay. So Caleb put something over in the chat.
Yep.
Does that look good, or do you guys want to do it a different way? It says, Doc checking on cause of death. Russet will question the natives. Zeb will question the front-facing customers, or the customer-facing employees. And Monroe will check out the crime scene.
Sounds good to me.
Yep, works for me.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's go in that order. Doc, you are taken back to an ice room. There are huge blocks of ice. In fact, there's two of them.
Okay.
A goatskin rug, 5 gallons of peanut butter, crunchy style, and a dead man whose body has.
Where it happened.
This is not where it happened. No, this man looks to be getting dressed up in a tuxedo. He looks about half dressed. His pants are on, missing some shoes. Got a white tuxedo shirt on that's half buttoned, and no coat. It is a man.
No obvious wounds.
I get there.
Okay. I'm on a schedule here.
Yeah. This man has dark brown hair, and from the time that he's been in here, it's not been enough for it to do much other than his skin to pale. It's pretty cold in here, doing a decent job of preserving it. But you can see that looking over this man, the man is basically dark brown hair, light blue eyes, fairly thin, and his hair is matted down at the top of his head with blood.
Can I do a medical check to try and get more detailed information?
Absolutely.
Okay. Difficulty?
This is going to be, let's say, difficulty 2. All right. Looking for more details, looking all over this, you can see that, feeling around, it looks like, obviously, it's some sort of head trauma. But aside from that, everything's too matted, and with it, with those two advantages, you can tell, however, that the body was probably moved in here very quickly after the death, because the matted blood is also frozen.
All right. Does he have any, like, I know he's about to get married. Does he have, like, jewelry or anything on him?
No.
Yeah. Did you say, was his jacket, like, purple or something? Or is that the staff is in plum?
Make a knowledge roll.
Knowledge. Difficulty?
2 purple.
All right.
The only people you saw wearing plum were the man and wife in the lobby that were in their mid-40s. Everybody else is in red, green, and blue, or red, green, and yellow. That's what it was.
Okay.
This man
This
is
man.
wearing black and white.
Okay. I don't know how much more I can find from this frozen body. Does he have anything on him that I might want?
Make a perception roll.
Oh. Difficulty 2?
Difficulty 1.
2 advantage.
All right. You find nothing on him that you might want, but with those 2 advantages, that strikes you as odd.
Okay. I think I want to go head towards spreading this information that I found.
All right.
Blunt trauma to the head. Yeah. Missing valuables that appear to be.
Okay. Russet.
Yes, sir.
You're up. You've been able to make it to the back. You continue to receive strange looks from the people who, A, are patrons, B, who work here. That is until you get to the back. When you get to the back, it is literally like the lower decks of the Titanic with the Irish having a great time.
Yeah.
These people they may be oppressed, but when they're together, it doesn't matter. It's always a good time.
Right. Now, are they bears as well, or are there different tribes here?
There are different tribes. It does not look like the people were all together. In fact, your biggest assumption is that they are similar in not physical appearance, but they've had the same experience type as you. They've all come from lots of places.
Right. Sorry. I'm just off the cuff. I haven't decided on who, on which animal the enemy of my tribe would have been. I'll think about that. But I want to scan this room to see if there's any of them. I'll bring up my character, the background, and just tell you the name of the real life tribe, and you can maybe tell me if there's any of them, because that's going to change me completely if there's any of them here.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll just bring it up. Where is it? Character information. Sorry. So we the Comanche were the ones that came in and basically displaced all our tribes. So I'm just seeing if I can recognize any Comanche that are here, or that might be here.
All right. So you're looking for a bison, and you do find one.
Right. Is he like near the others and enjoying this revelry as much as the others?
Make a perception roll for me. One
Sure.
purple.
One purple. Perception, I believe I've got 1 and 1. But I'll just check. No, I've got 2 greens, 1 purple.
Yeah, he looks to be having a good old time.
All right, well, I would notably not directly approach him and be keeping him in my periphery and start mingling with people. I'm a little bit awkward socially. And I seem completely out of place in anything that's like a casino. I do not look like I belong here. And I'm just, nodding and smiling and basically what I would like to do is start off when I'm talking to people and that I'm like, I'm from out of town and looking to maybe buy and sell wares. I'm a trader, mechanic. Maybe there's a goods store nearby, or maybe I can sell some things, and trying to introduce myself like that as a mechanic, tradesman, and someone who's got his services for sale, so to speak. I'm not starting off by immediately asking about the murder, but this is my way in, I figure.
All right. Then let's make a charm roll versus average.
Right up. Phil.
So you get the feeling very quickly that they have no interest in that kind of conversation, and it's putting some distance between you and them rather than buttering you up to them.
Yeah.
Or them up to you.
Right. So are they looking at me strange? Like even stranger?
Yeah. At first they weren't really looking at you too strange, but then as you attempted to do the buttering, they're like, "What's with this guy?"
I'm starting to get a little bit antsy, a little bit fearful. So far, this hasn't gone to plan. So what I'll do is I will take my badge off my chest and put it in the air, and I'll say, right, enough of this pandering about. I'm here to investigate the murder, and I'd like some information from y'all. This is probably quite a shock as I'm speaking quite loud now, and to everyone in general rather than to the little cliques of revels.
Okay, make a coercion check.
Yep.
And I'll give you a blue, but it's going to be against a purple and a red.
Sure. As you can see, these this sort of thing is not Russet's forte. He's stumbling about, and what I want to throw in here is that Russet has a fear of being humiliated and being that everyone's looking at him strange and especially after this, standing up, putting his badge up, basically demanding their attention, and they're all just like, no. Russ, it's just like, what have I got myself into? And he doesn't know what to do. So he's going to freeze.
An orc will come up to you and go, and just says, look, man, probably want to get out of here. You pulled that badge out, you immediately made yourself not one of us.
Russet nods, and he'll put the badge away. Trying to be discreet and failing, because everyone's attention is on him now. And he nods, and he sort of almost bows his head to the orc, and he says, while I would like to keep my faculties here, sir, maybe I didn't go about this the right way.
But, no, I say you didn't.
Russet says, well, thank you for your advice. Do you think these people in their, before I came in, their happier state might forgive a man for being a man and getting things not quite right?
I can't promise you that anybody around here would do that.
Maybe there's something I could do to ease the transition, sir.
What are you doing back here?
Well, I just got done hitching the horses out front. We just arrived. And what do you know? I walk in, and there's this woman crying, wailing like a banshee.
Oh,
and
you hear he takes in a quickly sucks in the air. Just yeah, it's a bad situation. You seen that, did you?
I did, and the guys in charge, they're a bit caught. You see, they want to solve what's happened real quick, and they want to do that before the sheriff arrives back. It just so happened that I had a badge, and I being the kindly sort, wanted to help. I offered, and I came back here to see what you all knew, but it didn't quite go as I'd expected.
No, it didn't. Well, listen. Stay right here.
Yes, sir.
And he walks away, goes around the corner. And after a couple of minutes, you feel like he might have ditched you. But then he comes back with a small, mousy-looking native, literally mousy. And she's looking up at you with her hands clasped in front of her. And the guy says, "This is Salandra. Salandra is one of our cleaners, one of our maids. And Well, she's the one who found him. Now, Solandra, I can't promise you that she's going to want to talk for long. But Solandra says that she's willing to give you a shot.
Well, that's mighty nice of you. Is there something I can impart to your more wise ways? Perhaps.
Solandra looks up at you and she says, "Sir, I don't like you. You came back here and everything was doing real good until you started shouting and showing that badge. And people, especially back here in the back, don't take too kindly to that. So, just ask your questions and be done, please."
Well, okay. I'll respect that. And first of all, I say, so which room did you find him in? Where was it? And in what state did you find him in?
I found him on the top floor in the honeymoon suite. Gentleman had rented that room, and I noticed that there were no women's things in there. He must have been the right sort of feller to try to keep the wedding bed safe for the wedding night. Only one side of the bed had to be made, but well, I went in there and the man was dead, and he was bleeding pretty bad from his head. When I went to get the manager, some of us, he told some of us to hurry up, wrap the body up in the rug, and bring the body down into cold storage. It was not a beautiful sight, sir.
I can imagine, and I'm sorry that you had to see that. Was there any sign that someone had forced the door or forced the windows?
No, sir. No, I mean, it's the top floor. It's got its balcony. It's a good sight. Granted, it's all prairie, but it's real pretty at night. On the back side of the building, the light doesn't necessarily go out that direction, so you can still kind of see the stars if you position yourself right.
Well, that sounds mighty nice. I might have to rent a room on that floor.
And she kind of laughs and snorts at you, and she says, "Good luck."
Fair enough. I know that you're the one to find him, and perhaps you weren't there the night before. But do you know anything about who he might have seen before he went to bed that night?
She looks at her, squints her eyes, and that night, sir, he was killed around dinner time.
Did he take his dinner in his room or down with the rest of the folks?
He was supposed to be married tomorrow, sir. He was with the rest of the wedding party.
And just to refresh my memory, was the rest of the wedding party around when I got here, or
we have not really established who the wedding party is.
The wedding party is, yeah. So I guess my final question to her is, do you know who was in charge of the wedding, or who I could talk to that might have been with that company.
What do you mean, sir?
Well, if the man that was killed was with the wedding party and he was killed short after, maybe someone in the wedding party saw someone acting strange. Hello.
Maria?
Make a
Oh, you remember that, don't you? Yeah, Max.
make another charm roll. It's going to be a purple and a red. You know what? No, 2 purples and a black.
I might flip a coin for this.
Okay.
So I flip a white one, is that right?
Yep. Nice. So you fail. And you get a threat, so take a point of strain.
Yeah.
But you've got a triumph.
Right.
You can spend that triumph to recover a strain. Notice a single important point in the ongoing encounter. You can learn the strength or the flaw of the targeted character. You can learn the desire or the fear of this targeted character. You can successfully conceal your goal. You can learn the true goal of this girl.
Okay.
You can do something vital, like get someone's attention, distract guards, so somebody can do something important to do.
Right. So the effect that I would like, and maybe it's not going to be exactly to this letter, but this is kind of what I'm hoping for, is that. So I made a really bad impression before.
Yeah.
And I guess what the effect of what I want is that someone who was in the revelry sees that that Salandra has come and talked to me, and everything is really calm, and sees that I'm being thorough and nice, perhaps, and changes their opinion of me, so that maybe they might be a little bit more forgiving than they were just a moment ago.
Okay. We can go with that, but right now you don't get to know whose opinion of you or whose opinion has been changed.
Okay. So she's not. She can't tell me that, or she won't tell me that, whichever it is. And that was my last question for her for the moment. And I say, well, Salandra, my name is Russet. I know you say you don't like me, and I understand, and I'm sorry for going about this the wrong way. And I pray that I can maybe one day be forgiven, or even just. And Russ doesn't finish the sentence because he's still quite humiliated that he's done the wrong thing, and he just mutters and walks away from Salandra.
Okay. So from there, we'll move on to Zeb, questioning people in the front.
Yep. So, yeah, I'll just, meander around with where all the people are and just casually ask questions. Not really, coming, straight to the point with the questions. Just, that seems awful bad that that dude got killed, ain't nobody found who did it, or what is the did they actually even see? Has anybody seen anything?
Okay, make a deception roll. Since you're hiding your intentions, make a deception roll versus 2 purple.
Okay. Deception is cunning, and I got 3. Yeah, I got 3 green. Or does that change?
No, it's 3 green. Do you have anything in deception?
No.
So it's 3 green and then 2 purple.
Okay. Nope.
All right. So you're not doing a good job of hiding your questions to the point that somebody finally looks at you and goes, "What are you getting at?" And literally just calls you on the carpet.
Well, nothing, just curious. That's all, just curious.
Just curious, huh? Well,
yeah. Ain't too many times you come into a town to a almost married couple when the groom dead.
yeah, it's unfortunate. You're right. Who are you talking to right now? Would you say Clyde or Zeb?
Just whoever. Maybe one of the. Just maybe one of the maybe a barfly who was sitting at the bar. Just
okay. He just looks at you from his drink and he's just, yeah, that's terrible. Don't want any part of that business, though.
Well, okay. Okay. And I'll just keep moving around. If I don't, he ain't helpful. I'm going to find somebody who is.
Okay. Make another deception roll. But this time add a black. Unless you've changed your tactics.
No, I think I'll. Actually, I'm just switching modes. I'll talk to the the woman that is the dice, and just ask her what's going on. She seems to be how about the couple and all that.
Okay. So you're just going to go up to her and just talk to her about it?
Yep. Well, but I'll butter her up first.
Okay. Well, make a charm roll for me then.
Charm roll. Wait, what is charm?
Presence.
Yep. Oh, I got one in present charm. Okay. So I got 3 presents and 1 charm. So that's what?
2 greens and a yellow.
2 greens, a yellow. It is 2 purple.
Yep.
All right. Aha! I should have came to her first.
Good deal. You're going to take a point of strain. But this lady is, you certainly have found yourself a more talkative person. At least this person's more willing to talk to you. So, how do you start this conversation off? Buttering her up. Or where do you go now that you've got her buttered up?
I'll ask the gentleman that was fixing to marry that lady just exactly how I said, and coming in here with all these fine looking ladies, did he seem like he had himself a wandering eye?
Oh, not one bit, sir. He was quite the gentleman the entire time we've seen him. Never seen anybody like him, though. His eyes were so blue, and his hair so dark, and he's just so fair-skinned. He looked angelic. He's a beautiful man. I mean, he may not have had a wandering eye, but I can tell you right now, a lot of ladies probably did. Maybe some men, animals, plants, maybe.
Did any of the ladies seem to be a little more forthcoming with him?
Not that I recall. No, it just honestly, he's just really pretty to look at.
So then why would somebody club him in his head?
I don't know. I guess that's the question, sir.
Yes. Yeah. Well, my dear, you have been helpful. It's just sad that I had to meet under this circumstances.
Go ahead and make a cool roll versus 2 purple.
Okay, let me see.
And
cool. It runs off presence. Okay.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll even let you throw in a blue.
Okay.
Because you could say that you've got her pretty distracted.
Okay, is it? I have 3 presents and I have 2 in cool. So is it 2 green, 2 yellow?
Nope, 2 yellows and a green.
2 yellow and a green. Okay, 2 yellow, 1 green, 2 yellow, 1 blue, 2 purple.
Yep. You've come up with $10 more ahead. And by looking at your dice, one of your successes actually came from that blue dice. So your conversation has distracted her enough that you were able to win an extra $5.
So I've won 20 so far?
Yep, you're 20 up for the night.
Okay. I'll leave her 5 and walk away.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to do?
Watching the people in this area, just watching everybody around, looking at somebody who's watching this a little bit more, or trying not to look at it, or keep tabs on what's going on.
Are people trying not to look at what?
Well, all this scene and everything, everybody has been paying. Some people pay attention. Some people have been trying to ignore it. I'm looking for somebody who's paying attention but trying to ignore it.
Okay. Make make a perception roll.
Okay, word perception. There it is. And it's cunning. Okay. It's at 3 green. So that's 2 green? Or is it 3?
What's your perception and your what? Cunning?
I don't have any in perception. I have 3 cunning. So would it just be 3?
Yep, 3 green.
Okay, take the any purple?
2.
Okay.
2.
Okay. Let's see if this keeps working for me.
Nice.
I see everything.
And it looks like everybody in here is currently. Oh, let's see. You know what? By this point, it's been about 50 minutes since you got drawn into helping out. And at this point, the wife, or the lady in the plum dress, has woken up. She's collecting herself, and she you actually catch her rolling her eyes at her daughter's wails. Not often, but like it's maybe crossed a line for her, but she's rolled her eyes.
Oh, I don't know how to. What is her rolling just aggravated, or is there more to it?
You can make a vigilance roll. And this is going to be versus 2 more purples.
All right, I got 1 in vigilance, 3 willpower. So I'm guessing it's going to be 2 there, 1 yellow. Oh, and it's 2 purple again.
Yep.
Hey, I'm on a roll tonight.
All right. It is not that she's just. It's not that she's over it. When you see that, immediately you're able to recall the what is it? Immediately you're able to recall that the girl who's wailing had just said, "He's the only man I ever loved."
Well, then since the eye roll, her mother, I will, come up beside her and I'll, kind of nonchalant says, I know, she might have loved him, but did she have anybody else?
Are you coming directly up to the lady in the plum dress?
Yeah. Not, crying the corner or just, make, kind of like musing observation.
The husband walks up and goes, hello, sir. As a reminder, this guy is in his mid-40s. He's well-groomed, with a thin mustache, plum suit. He has light brown eyes and blonde hair. He walks up. Excuse me, aren't you one of the people who are helping us to find the murderer?
Yeah. I seem to be called away from a very good poker game to play Sherlock Holmes. Yep.
Well, it's very, very uncouth of you, sir, to suggest that my daughter was in any way a disloyal woman.
I never her loyalty. I never called into play, but your wife's eye rolling gives me a clue that there might actually be a little something more to this wailing about, the only man she ever loved. Now, before she met him, did she have anybody else that might have been of the jealous type to come after her?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Insight check. Oh, wait.
Okay, that's vigilance.
Oh, it is? Well, okay, I was about to say, if you actually tell me there's an insight, I got it right. I didn't even know it was on there.
There's vigilance, and it's going to be against his deception. So your roll will be against a 2 reds.
Okay, let's see. One vigilance, willpower. Okay. Two there. It's not purple, it's red.
It's 2 reds.
Okay. Okay, dice. Oh, well, okay. 2 reds. All right. Let's see if I can see if the keeps up with me. Doggone it.
There you go. So, you absolutely succeed at being able to tell that this man is lying while taking a point of strain, and you get that triumph. As a reminder, with those triumphs in this sort of situation where it's based on the social encounter rather than actual combat, you can use that triumph to recover strain. Notice a single important ongoing point in the ongoing encounter. Uh, you can learn any of their motivations: strength, flaw, desire, or fear. You can pick one. You can learn the true goal of the target if my target has one.
I would like to know why he's hiding the fact that she may have actually had another bow before this one. I don't know. I don't know.
How do you say that? How do you ask him that, or how do you call him out on it?
I'm watching his features, and when I finally there's a little bead of sweat, and I'll look at it as far as poker faces. You're not even holding a whole card. I'm not asking. I'm not insinuating that your daughter ran around with every fella that came in. I'm just wanting to know if she had someone that would want to keep her well enough to remove somebody else that he felt was keeping him from them two apart.
And the man's eyes glance down, and he looks up at you. He goes, "Well, I'm sorry. You're right. I wasn't completely honest, but she has had she has been engaged before. In fact, 7 times before. Um, you see, a Melody, my dear sweet daughter, um, she has commitment issues. The other men have not died like this," and he laughs weakly. Well, I mean, not on the outside, maybe on the inside a little. You know how it is, right? But none of them were ever to the point of jealousy. Melody made it very clear uh, that she was, well, how do the kids say it? It's her, not him. He keeps trying to laugh at his jokes.
How much do you know about the man she was with?
Uh, Not very much, in fact. You see, she's my oldest daughter, and I can't. Well, she's in her. She's 23. sir. You know how it is with older daughters, and the older a woman gets, well, I was just hoping that she would be able to have a good life, and if this man was willing to accept her and all of her flaws, then how could I say no to his desire to marry her? He seemed like a good man, a bit odd, but a good man. And at this, the wife in the bride's mother with the sharp chin, long red hair, and dark brown eyes goes, "Yes, he was odd. For his kind, he's very strange. I would, well, I can't say that I'm happy to have seen this, and especially for our daughter. I was wishing that she would finally be able to, you know, that she'd, well, you see, and she's gesturing to each other, and then to her husband, and then while looking at her husband, gesturing away, and never mind, never mind. I'm glad she was happy, but I just did not like her decision.
Oh, okay. Oh, I can't think of anything else I want. So I don't know. I think I've just about asked all I know right now.
All right,
So we can move on if you want.
and moving over to Monroe, who is checking out the crime scene.
I have had the sheriff and the manager show him to the location.
All right. So the sheriff and the manager, none of them are busy with anybody else, and would easily be able to move you on up this nice. They're calling it an elevator, and they ask you to step inside. The door is closed. This box is pretty small, and then all of a sudden you feel it rumble. And above the door, you see this hand go from pointing at L, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to the top floor. Then the doors open, and what you see in front of you is completely different than what you've seen so far.
Is it like a full penthouse suite where I open straight up into the room?
No. It is it goes left and right in a hallway. There is a door in front of you, but they lead you immediately turning left, and you find that you're passing very few doors. And finally, you come to a room. They stop. The manager pulls out a key, inserts the key, turns it, opens it, and you are on a honeymoon suite that is positioned on the back side of the building.
Monroe kind of just takes one step into the room and kind of stands there for a minute. And while he's kind of looking over the room, he says, "Who found the body?"
One of our cleaning girls. Her name is Salandra. She is a bit mousy, but never matter. We had been given notice that the room needed cleaning before tonight. It was odd. We did not expect to have to clean the room the night before the wedding. We had already cleaned it this morning, but there was a note at the front desk requesting that the room be cleaned. Yes.
All right, and I assume you don't know who gave you the note.
No, that is correct, sir.
Okay. Who did and he turns to the manager, was it your decision to move the body?
Absolutely.
Okay, how was it transported? Did it take the elevator back down, or did you have some other mode?
The body would not. The body was in a rug that we have on the floor. You can see, and he gestures toward a wide open space where the wooden floors. It just looks odd that it's uncovered with as heavily decorated as the rest of the room is. And the rug would not fit in the elevator with Mr. Well inside of it. So we had to painstakingly carry it down the stairs.
Mr. Well, that's the corpse then, I assume?
Yes, his name, and then the sheriff jumps in and goes, his name is Sam Well. Yes, sir.
I got you. And he was getting married tomorrow, is that correct?
That is correct. Tomorrow.
What can you tell me about the rest of the wedding party? Are they staying on this floor as well?
No, they're not. There are some very fine suites on the lower floors. This room was purchased for Mr. Well and Mrs. Lane upon their nuptials by Mrs. Lane's father, Mr. Dustin, and her mother, Miss Shade.
All right. And it seemed as they had some sort of attendant with them. Who was she?
Yes. She has a room registered very close to theirs. In fact, in situations like this where people would bring their own attendants, some people do, and at this point the manager's just rambling on with information about it, and finally he gets to the point where he says the Lanes had a suite with an extended room off to the side for their servant. I believe her name was Ms. Temperance Handy.
Is this all right? Well, very good. Who else has been in the room? Did you guys actually follow through with the cleaning?
Well, yes. We were to assume that the room needed to be cleaned.
And the debris that was cleaned up in here, I imagine there was quite a mess. What did you do with it?
What do you mean debris, sir?
Well, if you cleaned the sheets, if there was any sort of fight or struggle, the evidence could have gotten cleaned up. I'm just curious what you might have done with it.
There was no debris, sir.
I see.
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
Make a vigilance roll versus green and a purple and a red. Ooh, that's a despair. So on that despair, there's no debris, and he goes, "There's no debris," and you start going on and on and on about like starting to just go wild on this man, because you're like, how can you not do your job? What do you mean there's no debris? You've cleaned something? I'll tell you right now, I have a friend, and when he finds out about this, he's gonna get mad because there's nothing more in this entire life that he desires than vengeance. And you realize that you said too much about Zeb.
Sorry, these sort of situations can be a little tough.
And the sheriff is looking at you sideways.
Right. Deputy, you got all the names of the people downstairs, is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
And so right now, you've opened the door, you've stepped in, and you're just kind of standing there. Let's do this. Make a vigilance roll one more time versus 2 purple. You know what? Make it versus 3 purple. I'll spend it. Okay. It just something has been seeming out of place, and you just cannot put the pieces together.
I think he would kind of look at the two, the deputy and the manager, and he said, if you guys don't mind, do you think I could have the room?
Well, the sheriff looks at you and goes, I don't know what you expect to find, but you mean like alone? Like his eyes go wide. You mean you want it alone?
Yeah. I'd just like to have the room here for a moment to myself.
Sure. The manager goes, but, and the sheriff looks at him and goes, don't worry. And guides him out of the room. The sheriff looks back behind you. He's got an eyebrow raised and a half-cocked smile. Sheriff doesn't believe you're going to find anything.
Yeah,
you've come across as pretty confused so far in this entire conversation.
Yeah, I think while he's giving him the look, Monroe just slowly closes the door on them both. And he turns back around to the room and he takes a deep breath. And I think what he would do is he would walk over to the spot where the body was found.
Okay.
Was it found on the bed?
No. From everything you've been told so far, it's been found on the floor.
So yeah, so cursory glance, kind of looking around the room. First thing he would consider is what kind of bed is it?
It's a large king size bed, canopy bed.
Gotcha. So he would first probably look over maybe the posts on the bed itself. Just kind of looking at it, seeing if he could find any sign. Specifically, he's looking for perhaps a sign of struggle. Maybe the attacker and Mr. Well got into a fight and somebody bumped up against something. And so he's starting at the bed and kind of working his way around the outside and spiraling back in.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception roll versus 2 purples. Cool. With that success, you are startled from what you've heard of or even seen of murders or even having committed of murders, or the 3 murders you saw a couple weeks ago. Like, there was a struggle, there was a fight, there was something going on physically, and you are finding no signs. And not like I'm not being the guy who's like, sorry, you missed it. No, Like you have found like no signs of struggle. You are confirming what they have said. There was no struggle.
So then the next thing he would do is he would go to any drawers, dressers, chests, side tables, anything that had like internal containment, and pull all the drawers out, and do it very quickly. So if something like quickly pulling out a drawer, so if something was lying in the back, it might pull forward, or maybe he would jostle any false bottoms out of every drawer that he's pulling open.
Okay. You do that, and go ahead. You know what? I'll give you go ahead and do the same. You're making a perception roll now, and you can have 1 purple on that. Cool, another success. Opening all of the drawers, you nothing rolls out. But looking at one of the one of the dressers, the way that the dresser is arranged, there is it is asymmetrical. It's like candlestick, small ornamentation, doily with a plant on it, small ornamentation, nothing.
Could I deduce that there was something there?
Absolutely. You can deduce that it was a candlestick as well.
So the next thing that I would do is I would meticulously look for hair.
Meticulously. That would explain why we're an hour and 19 minutes later. He's been on his hands and knees. Okay.
Monroe's a weird fellow.
We know. We can tell. Okay. Make a perception roll, and we're going to go 5 purple. And I'll even give you a blue.
All right. I flipped a destiny.
Oh. Tell me. Yes, it's our first watch. Got anything humorous to say about that, Caleb?
I think he stumbles across and he finds like this brown hair, and he's like, "Oh my god, this is it!" And he goes to pick it up, and it's actually one of his own hairs, and it's like, oh. So he shoves it in his pocket with the little piece of trash that he brought in from outside. Not trying to incriminate himself, even though he knows he was not here.
Make a vigilance roll for me. It's going to be against 2 purples. I'm going to upgrade it to. Didn't you say you spent one of the points?
I did.
Okay, you didn't flip it, so
I'll flip it. No, I did flip it. You upgraded somebody else's check earlier and made it so that there were 4 whites.
4 whites?
Mm-hmm. You flipped a destiny, and there was only 1 black and 4 white.
Oh, well, I'm going to upgrade this one then, and it's your vigilance check is going to be versus a purple and a red. Gotcha. You succeed. The floor in the bedroom of the main suite is wood with rugs. But you can see in the water closet that they have tried to make that a very comfortable space, and have actually put a rug in there that has very shaggy carpeting to it. In fact, it looks as though it has been cleaned recently. And it has 2 footprints on it, as if somebody stood there for a for a long time.
Are these noticeably boot prints?
Yes.
Okay. Big or small?
Big.
Big old boot prints. Gotcha. Let's see. And trying to decide if there's anything else that I could pull out.
You currently have 37 minutes left.
Man. So this is going to sound weird.
Okay.
But Monroe reaches into his bag and he pulls out the tied up sack of those sticky glands.
Okay.
And he pulls one of them out. And is there a faucet in the bathroom?
Yes, there is.
So he would turn that on and stick the gland underneath it so that it basically makes it so that it is starting to become sticky.
Okay.
Turns the water off. And I think he would like to I'm trying to decide if I want to look for hair again. I think what he would probably do is he would run it across the sink to see if maybe this is some way to get fingerprints or something like that, to where maybe it might react in a different way.
Okay. All right. I'll say cool. And let's see. You can make an alchemy check. And I'm going to make it versus 2 purple and a red, but I'll give you a blue because I like your idea.
All right, let's see. Let me make sure my stuff's right, because I'm glad you said alchemy, because I'm excited about that.
Are you really?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any points in it, but I would like to put some in it someday, and I'm only gonna put in stuff that I use. So,
just as a reminder, you can only spend 1 of the story points you can only spend 1 during your turn, but that means if you want to spend a story point to cancel the one that I spent, you may. And y'all got a crap ton.
So you're saying I can use a second one now?
Oh, you didn't.
I used one earlier on the wash.
Right, it's not 1 per encounter.
Oh, so it's 1 per check then?
Correct.
All right, yeah, I am gonna flip 1 to get a yellow.
So it's okay. All right, so it doesn't work.
So I don't learn anything about this, but I learn a lot about myself. I think I would actually take one of the towels that's maybe hanging up there and wrap this sticky sack up in it so that it doesn't mess with the other ones.
Okay.
And shove them all back in my bag.
Okay.
People always take towels, right?
That's right.
And I'd probably carefully walk without stepping on the mat or the rug and step back out there. Lastly, I pull the rug just to pull it into the bedroom and out of the bathroom.
Okay.
And go back and I open the door.
Are you done?
Are they standing there still?
Yeah.
Um,
or actually, the only one left standing there is the sheriff. The manager went to do something else after you literally going over the floor.
he says, okay. And he says, and he starts, like, he opens the door, and without looking, he's like, where's the sheriff? Wait, where's the manager?
The manager went back downstairs. After waiting for you for 10 minutes, he went back to work, sir.
Interesting.
I actually left and came back.
Welcome back. It's time to go.
All right.
Are there stairs?
Well, yes, there are.
I'm going to take the stairs.
All right, sir. If you don't mind, I'm going to take the elevator.
I don't mind at all. And the last thing, I would just check the stairwell on my way down to see if there's blood.
Okay. Make a perception roll versus 1 purple.
I feel like 1 purple means no.
You are correct. You find no blood.
Success.
That's right. Success.
Cool. So I walk down, get back into the lobby.
And, so what's happened is that in the past hour and a half of all of y'all doing your jobs, even though it only took you a handful of minutes or 25 minutes for your part of the conversation, you do it took longer to set that up or to move or to include travel. So you come back down and there is a bit of a commotion. In the midst of everything going on, immediately you have Temperance looking from the 2 in purple, Shade Lane, Mrs. Lane, and Mr. Lane, and Dusty Lane. Yep. And she sees the sheriff, and she comes running up to the sheriff. And the rest of you are all coming back together at this time. Maybe even Zeb's turning around from the bar. And she goes, Sheriff! Sorry. Sheriff! Sheriff! We can't find Brother McLemore. Sheriff says, what? And said, Brother McLemore, he was supposed to provide do the service, and we can't find Brother McLemore. And you're all hearing this.
Well, Sheriff, it was the priest.
And he goes, what? We're going to be... Wait, how do you know? Flips open his notebook, pulls out his pen. Where have you been for the past 30 minutes?
The freezer.
Got anybody who can corroborate that?
Can anybody cohort me? Who took me to the freezer? I mean, it was the sheriff, wasn't it?
He goes, I suppose you're right.
Corroborate me.
Touch him on the forehead. It's cold.
So here's what we'll do then. You've still got looks down at his watch, or pulls out his pocket watch and goes, we got 28 minutes before the marshal's supposed to be here, gentlemen. What do we do now?
Someone needs to run interference and give us more time.
And then, okay, I'll give it to you. You hear somebody from outside go, "Hey!" Esteban peeks in. He's got up here somewhere, right?
That's right. When who is it? It's not the sheriff. Who's coming into town?
You're getting a marshal.
Marshal. When the marshal shows up, tell him all the stories about all the people you killed. It'll be real great. You'll buy us like 3 or 4 days, I bet. Anyway.
Are you sure? Well, won't I get in trouble for that?
Definitely. Where's the bus? Roll him under it.
Throw him in front of the carriage.
Yeah, act like he hit you.
Wait, are we talking about Esteban?
Yeah.
Yeah, he gonna hop up in there. Hey, Holmes. Should I tell him how many men I killed, Holmes?
That's exactly.
Oh
So-
no.
Take over the job as his driver and just don't go anywhere.
So then,
Anyway.
Circle around town.
so I'll tell you. Okay, so Esteban running interference can buy you guys another 10 minutes.
We just spent 10 minutes convincing him.
Yeah, because he will play to his fault, his laziness.
So, I would look for the manager. Is he here somewhere?
He's able to be called over real quick.
Garcon.
He comes forward. And he goes, "Doesn't that mean boy?"
Yes.
It was Carson.
That's way up northwest. Anyway, hey, so you said who was the person who actually cleaned up the room? Can I speak to them? Can you bring them here?
And he goes, "Oh my." The sheriff starts to open up his notebook and flipping through.
You said she was a mousy lady?
Oh, manager goes, "Yes, Salandra."
Russet sort of puts his hand up, says, "I talked to Salandra before, and I just blurred out all the things that she gave me, which was found him in the honeymoon suite. They wrapped him up in the rug to bring him down. He was bleeding from his head. There was no forced entry. He was killed around dinner time, and he was with the wedding party at that time."
So, can we bring her in here? I got a quick question.
Sure. And he looks over at the boy and he goes, "Carson, go get Salandra for me, would you?"
He winks at him. It's like, yeah, Carson, good job.
Right, so during that time, I'm assuming you guys are planning your next steps. Not only do you have a death or a murder, but you have a disappearance.
Is this the kind of place where there's like a communal dinner, or would it have been room service kind of situation?
The manager goes, they had an assigned room reserved.
We're going to need a list of everyone who should have been in attendance at the dinner, and if anyone was missing.
The sheriff goes, "Well, that's easy." He pulls out his list and he goes, "1, Brother David McLemore, older fellow with medium length white hair, dressed formally. He had a kind face, nice, and like to talk about his brother back in the Ozarks, who invented what he called an iron horse." And he holds up his hand and goes, "No, not the rail." He made it very explicit that he meant a real iron horse, except it runs on 2 wheels. Miss Melody Lane, the bride, Mrs. Shade Elizabeth Lane, Mr. Dustin Lane, the attendant Temperance Handy, and one Mr. Samwell, the groom to be. Make a vigilance check versus 2 purples, everybody.
I might pop a coin here, I think.
Okay.
Give it slightly more of a chance.
Cool. So everybody, except for the doc, catches that everybody in the wedding party is all on the bride's side, except for let's see, Russet, and you also go, except like everybody except for Doc is like, hey, there's nobody here for the groom. Like everybody in the party is for the bride, and then Russet you throw in with your advantage. You're like you say, except for Brother Macklemore, but he's got a reason to be here other than either of the betrothed.
And he's missing.
And now he's missing. Yep.
Mr. Lane, has Brother Macklemore been employed by you to run any of the previous services?
Not at all. In fact, and at this point, interrupting in, the manager goes, Brother Macklemore is our chaplain on site.
For how long?
Oh, Brother Macklemore has been here for 16 months, maybe?
He ever disappeared like this before?
Sir, we've never had a murder here before.
I'm not talking about
this is all new for us. No.
Have you seen his steel horse?
No. No. That's David's brother, Robert. He sure did love to talk about that. I do actually. No. One time he rode up on that thing. Wow. I don't have anything I can say about that. That was one of the most incredible things I think I'd ever seen. And then it didn't stay long, just sat and spent the day with David and then rode off into the sunset. I mean, as silly as that sounds, that's exactly what happened. And I would be damned if everybody here didn't watch him go.
Sir, while I was looking around the bedroom, and clearly it must be taking the young lady a little while.
Speak of the devil, she comes walking up.
Oh, perfect. Hello, ma'am. How are you? He's trying to do some pleasantries here.
She's very uncomfortable. And I'm fine, sir.
He takes his hat off and he sits it down on the table there. Ma'am, when you were in there cleaning, I'm sure you saw a lot of pretty terrible things, and I apologize about that. That's not what you're looking for. But in that room, I was up there just a little bit ago. I was looking around, and I noticed there was a rug that looked like it had been thoroughly cleaned. Were you the one who cleaned it?
Which rug are you speaking of, sir?
The one in the water room.
No, I didn't.
Are you
Go ahead.
Are you familiar with the bridal suite?
Oh, absolutely, sir.
Has that rug been there all along?
In the water closet, sir?
Yeah. Is it always in there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, to be honest, I didn't think of going in there with the blood and everything, and and then she drops her eyes, and the bed needed to be made. But my first thought was to clean the room so that it didn't stain.
So unequivocally, you did not wash that rug.
Sir, are you speaking of the rug that we put Mr. Wells' body in?
I'm speaking of the washroom rug.
I did not, sir.
Okay. What about the missing candlestick? What can you tell me about that?
What do you mean, sir?
Well, there's clearly two positions on one of the side dressers where there was the candlestick, there was the doily with the potted flower, a little ornamentation, and then there looked like another spot where there should have been another candlestick. Did you take that?
I don't know what you're talking about, sir. You can make a vigilance check if you like. Against 2 greens or 2 purples.
Now, what did you say your name was again, ma'am?
Salandra.
Forgive me. I'm Monroe. It's very nice to meet you again. Like I says, you said you were familiar with the room. How would you not be aware that there was supposed to be a second candlestick?
Sir, I was told to go clean the room, and I get up there. I found a body, and I didn't think to do any cleaning other than what I saw.
Miss Alondra, I greatly appreciate all the help that you have given us today. You have been wonderful. Go back doing whatever your responsibilities are. I sure do appreciate it. And he turns to the manager and says, "So where's the candlestick?"
Manager looks at you and goes, "What do you mean?"
So, and he starts to go into the same explanation. He's like, "There's a candlestick there. This is your building. You run this place."
I removed nothing from the room. Miss Alondra says that she didn't, and there's no reason to disbelieve her.
Sure. And so you're saying that you did not remove anything from the room?
I did not.
Did you wash the rug?
The rug has yet to be washed.
The washroom rug.
I have not washed that rug.
Did you tell somebody to?
No.
Can I vigilance that?
Yes.
Against?
2 green or 2 purples. You can tell that he's being honest. That he is not being deceitful to you at all. Make a knowledge roll. At this point, make a knowledge roll against 1 purple. And add a blue. Okay. You are frustrated.
I sure am.
And you have about 20 minutes to go. 23 minutes.
Who else had keys to this room?
Just those who clean, and there's the master key that is kept by management, myself, and also we gave 2 keys to Mr. Samwell. Well, because, well, you know, once he gets married, he'd have a wife, and he'd be able to give that wife his key.
Did you find both of those keys on him? Did anybody find those keys?
No. No. Somebody must have had the extra key. Who could have it?
Sheriff, I think we found you a new deputy.
Sheriff.
Sheriff, could you please help
And Smalls is like, no.
He turns to the family. Says, "Did you guys have? Did you guys get one of the keys?"
And immediately, excuse me, immediately, Mr. Lane jumps in and goes, "No, sir, I gave them both to Mr. Well."
Temperance, you don't happen to have one of those keys, do you?
She looks at you. She goes, "No, sir."
How long have you?
And
How
she
long-
looks. Go ahead.
How long have you been employed by the Lanes?
I've been in. I've only been employed for since I was a young girl, probably in my late. Oh gosh, before I became a teenager.
You remember your mother?
No, I never knew her.
Miss Lane, do you remember when you picked up Temperance here? Do you remember her mother?
And the mother, Miss Lane, looks and goes, "No."
Miss Lane, are you Temperance's mother?
No.
Mr. Lane, are you Temperance's father?
No, sir. Would you like to make vigilance rolls against any of that?
I'm going to vigilance against Miss Lane.
And any of you can be doing. Any of you can be. Any of you can make vigilance rolls against any of them. Just let me know who you want to roll against.
I'll roll against the father.
So you're rolling against the father. Let me write this down so I don't have to ask you again. Doc versus father. So you're all going to be making vigilance rolls. I'll tell you what purple and reds you'll have here in a moment.
Jim, is there a chance that that Russet can excuse himself while these guys are chatting there? And his excuse is that he doesn't feel like he did a very good job when he talked to the natives earlier, and he's going to give it one last shot to go back there and see if anyone's willing to impart any more information. Would that be all right?
Sure. Make a deception roll. At this point, deception roll. Give yourself a blue, and it's going to be versus 2 purples.
A deception roll. 2 purples and a blue. I'm just making sure that
2 threats. You will take. You won't take any strain. Somebody is going to use that as a black die.
Okay, I'll add that in. Thank you.
Okay. They let you leave, but you can tell in their faces that they don't believe you. Monroe, what are you rolling?
I'm going against the mother.
Zeb?
I'll go with I'll roll vigilance against the father.
Okay.
Crap! I should have used my little advantage to give him a black dice and use my magic against him. You lied to me before.
Well, would you like to not make a roll against them and try to hex them?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
Hold on, let me bring up the magic thing, and then I will see what I can do.
If you would like to do it, if you would like to do it in a stealthy way, because I know that you use a form of shadow magic, then you'll have to upgrade that check.
Okay, that's fine. I have to bring the book back up.
That's all right. So you're going to just do the basic hex.
Yeah, and I have that the signature.
Okay, the signature spell.
Yeah, my signature maneuver
is which one? With misfortune?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. That's what I gotta look it up again. Because I wanted to know. It is the curse one, but I don't think it's not the doom.
Just so not doom.
Yeah, it's not. I know it's not doom.
Misfortune.
I believe it is misfortune.
Now remember, that doesn't add a black dice, but it does make it so that if there's a black dice, you can change the face of it.
Right. Okay. Well, then that.
You can go ahead and just do your basic curse, and it would.
Yeah, I'll do the basic. I'm not going to try to.
Okay, so make your roll versus a purple and a red.
Okay, I have my little that signature. What is that signature?
Right, but your signature spell has misfortune with it.
Oh, that's right. Okay, hold on. I'll get it. One day we'll get it. Doggone it. Where is it? Okay, I have to make Arcana. Yep, Arcana.
Yep.
Okay. And go ahead and close it without actually looking at what Arcana is, Clyde. That's just what you need to do.
Do you have a 2 or a 3 in Arcana?
It's a 3. I'm just waiting for the blasted character sheet to give me the answer. I'm gonna go with 3.
Okay, and you've got a 3 in intellect or 2?
2 in intellect.
All right, so 2 yellows, a green, a purple, and a red.
Okay, 2 yellows, a green, a purple, and a red.
All right, you're able to get it off with without him noticing. So, going against the father, or so first going against the mother, it's vigilance against mama, and it's going to be a let's see, it's going to be your vigilance versus a it would be a purple and a purple, but thanks to the hex, it's only going to be 1 purple. No, yeah, we'll do it. So purple by itself. The father, it's going to be. Wait, timeout. Don't roll. I'll give it to you. Okay.
I don't mind re-rolling if you want me to.
Yes, it was my bad because we used it. He used the curse on the father, not the mother. So it's going to be 2 purples. With the father, it's going to be 1 purple. Yeah, you don't mind re-rolling it. It's going to be a purple by itself for Doc. So vigilance versus 1 purple. And you know what? I'll upgrade that to a red. Vigilance versus 1 red.
Oh, I had already rolled and got 3 successes.
I had to re-roll, bro. I had to re-roll.
Yeah, I know, but
You're still good. In fact, based off of that, you have a success with 2 advantages because that purple shouldn't have been there. So you have a success with 2 advantages. So here, looking at the mom with that those 2 threats, you're going to take 2 points of strain, but you can tell that she is not lying about what you asked, but she's lying about something. Talking to Monroe. What do you want to use that triumph for?
I figured it out, and I pull my gun out, and I point at it, whoever did it.
Perfect.
No?
Almost. But don't forget this. You can use that triumph to gain 1 essential piece of information. Notice a single important point in the ongoing encounter. Do something vital. Learn any 1 motivation facet of any character in the encounter. So it doesn't have to even be the mother.
So
So you already know the mother is not lying about not being Temperance's mother. She's honest. She is not Temperance's mother, but she's lying about something. Now you can gain 1 of the motivations from someone else or anybody.
And
I'll tell you, I can tell you this right now. You guys have 10 minutes remaining.
right at this time, you just hear Eric down there.
That's exactly
Check
right.
out my sword, guys. Look at this thing.
And this marshal has brought with him a small retinue of other lawmen.
So I will. So you said I can.
You can learn the strength, flaw, desire, fear of anyone.
So yeah, I'll do the fear of the father.
Ooh. Okay. The fear of the father is. Where did he go?
Can I see the candlestick sticking out of his shirt or something?
No. You get with listening to everything going on. No, I am not. You get that the father's fear is failure. Specifically related to in this conversation to Temperance's mother. And this phrase immediately, it's just like it pops in your head. I don't know what I did to run her off, and I can't let it happen again. Good choice. 8 minutes. And the roll for the father, you have a success. You know that the father is lying about being Temperance's father. He is Temperance's father.
All right, I don't know where that gets us.
Okay, Russet. What's going on? 8 minutes.
So, what I'm doing is heading exactly what I said. I'm going back to the back. And what I'm doing is what I want to ask you is, I know that this is not on my character sheet right now, but I'm wondering if Russet can have one like worthless trinket of his tribe to prove that that's where he came from, right? So what I want to do
flip
is
a story point, and the answer is yes.
Flip a story point. Okay. And I wander back to the back.
Okay.
I take out this tribal trinket, and I say, when I came down here before, I came down as a lore man, and that was my mistake. I come here now as a member of my tribe, and I lay down the trinket on the table, and I say, I'm just going to leave this here, and if anyone in the next 5 minutes, I'm just going to walk out of the room, and I'll just be down the hall. And if anyone wants to come find me, if you've got any information about what's going on with this murder, no one else will know. Just come and have a word, and I'll be waiting, but only for 5 minutes.
6 minutes to go.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll come back to you. Back with everybody else. You also, so here, finally, you realize while that's going on, you see Temperance looking around, and she goes, excuse me, but has anybody seen Melody?
No.
Apparently not. Have we seen Melody?
No,
we got 6 minutes. No, we haven't.
In fact, you realize now that Melody has not been down here since you first heard that the priest was also disappeared.
Didn't we ask her if she had the key?
Nope.
No, we asked Temperance. Oh shit, Mr. Lane. Mr. Lane, who is Melody's mother? Give it up. Just tell us. Quicker.
He says, like, he starts to cry, and he goes, I loved her very much.
And you don't want to let her down. You want to help us.
She was a member of the congregation. I loved her dearly. And everybody, knowledge roll, except for Russet. He's not there. 1 purple.
And how many purples?
1.
Okay.
4 minutes. You all know immediately who the congregation is. The congregation is a group called the Dresden Ecclesiastical Congregation. They are, in effect, they are our Mormons. And Temperance's mother was a member of the congregation. And let's see, with those 2 advantages, Doc, you are able to realize also that something strange about the members of the congregation are that they all look the same. All the women look alike. All the men look alike.
Real quick, Robert, did he look just like David?
No, sir. No, sir. In fact, Robert was much younger than David. And you remember, the good book is not the holy text of the congregation.
So he takes a hard look at Temperance. What does she look like?
Temperance has dark brown hair and bright blue eyes.
And so did, what's his name, right? Well.
Yes. Stop.
Oh.
Russet, the bison man, comes out with a keychain. And he looks at you, goes to the keys, and he goes, "Here, this is the keys to the Lane's room. Go, and don't you dare get me in trouble. I will find you and ruin you. Take it." He puts the key ring in your hand, and then just walks away from you. 2 minutes.
I run back up the stairs.
He is running up to the stairs. The room number is on the key. You will be able to find it. Going back to the conversation.
So it looks like. So, are you the one who killed Mr. Well?
Who are you talking to?
The father.
No, I would never do that.
Okay, who would have a reason to do it? Considering everything we know.
He looks around and vigilance rolls. Quick, 1 minute. While you're making those vigilance rolls, fumbling with the keys, Russet, you are able to get up there. You are out of breath. You're exhausted. You open up the door, and you are searching around the room. Make a vigilance roll for me.
Like, against what?
He's making a vigilance versus a purple.
What about me?
You're checking for his lying. Remind me what you're doing.
Where we asked him who had a reason to kill the guy.
Vigilance. Make a vigilance roll versus a purple as well.
Fuck.
Russet, you immediately scan around the room. You see nothing, and then remember they said that they specifically ordered or got rooms that had a servant's quarters attached. And you go right over there. The door is unlocked, and in the room, looking around, there is another asymmetrical setup because it has an extra candlestick.
Didn't I hex the father?
Yes. Oh, are you still concentrating?
Yeah.
I can't take it away past one purple. It has to have.
That's okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
But Zeb, you notice the father look over at his wife, and the wife purse her lips. And the marshal is walking in.
And Russet's running down the stairs with the extra candlestick.
You know what? How about, what if I did this right here? I'm going to switch knowing that the marshal is coming. Is there a way to use the curse to maybe make the swinging doors not open?
Yes, make it against a purple.
Okay. All right. Wait. Okay.
While that's happening, Doc, you're the one who noticed him look at his wife.
Looked at.
The marshal is currently fighting with the doors. Is that your role? There we go. Yeah, dude, you were able to have it held on for. You're able to gain 1, 2, 3 more minutes as that door is messed up bad, and people are like, it is Zeb. People are running to try to help him, and unfortunately, it's just causing even more cluster. People trying to help out the marshal to get in. The marshal's is trying to open the hex door, and it is just not working. You've got 3 more minutes. Doc.
Guess I want to ask the father why he's hiding that his wife killed his future son-in-law.
He looks and says, "No, she couldn't have. She's been with me the whole time." And he realizes, and he goes, "Tempe?"
Immediately, Monroe pulls out both of his guns and points them right at her and says, "Tells the truth. You don't have any time."
I also quick draw my rifle.
Coercion. You can get a blue from Doc helping you out here. And she has 2 purples.
Old-fashioned Mexican standoff.
3 advantages is all I got.
With 3 advantages, I think you can still. With 3 advantages, it says you can learn the true goal of your target, if your target has one.
What's her goal?
Her goal is you still are able to realize that her main goal was to get away with murder. She wanted to kill this man. And from up above you, Russet comes running out over the first floor balcony, and he's shouting out. He goes, "I found the candlestick in her room." However you want to say it, dude.
Yeah.
You stopped 1 floor too early, but there's a balcony over this big lobby.
Yeah, I'm holding it out, and I say, now we didn't resolve my triumph there. So
Yes.
can Russet come to he runs up to the balcony, he leans over, he's holding out the candlestick. Can maybe with everything else that's happening, can that triumph be Temperance owning up or something like that? Like she's seeing everything happening and she realizes that she's not going to get away with it or something like that.
And with 1 minute to spare, she falls down on her knees and begins sobbing and sobbing as she says, "I hated her. I hated her for leaving me. My father." And at this, 10:15 just hit. The doors, the hex turns off, the doors come open, and the marshal comes in, guns drawn, everybody else ready, and she goes, "I hated my mother. She left me alone with my father." And you can look over at the father, and the dad is crying, and the mother's mouth is, and Miss Lane's mouth is still pursed. And when I saw him, I hadn't seen a member of the congregation my entire life. And the father says, "I took every precaution to keep you safe." And she says, "I just felt this rage. This rage." And the mother goes to the husband, "After what that woman did to you, I completely understand where Temperance is coming from." And Tempe cries. "I snuck up to the room and found him sitting in a chair, and I killed him with the candlestick right across the head. I know it doesn't fix everything, but just overtook with rage. I'm so sorry, Papa." And the sheriff comes up. Sheriff Woody comes up, picks her up, puts her in handcuffs and manacles, and goes and delivers her to the marshal. Standing there, the father says, I was so young. I hadn't even met Shade yet. And I named Tempe after her mother. Her mother's name was Temperance Handy. And I loved her mother so much. And Shade's lips are still pursed. Easily being able to tell this has been nothing but a thorn in her side her entire life. Or her entire marriage to this man. I just wanted to protect her. And after the sheriff and the marshal and deputy, whose first name is Dink, by the way, Dink Smalls, walk out through the doors, you see off to the side Melody come running in and wrap her arms around her father. Behind her is Brother Macklemore. And behind him is a man who looks just like Sam. You could say identical. And you hear Melody say, "Papa, you would be so proud of me. You would be so proud. He loves me. I love him. We're married." And smiling sheepishly in the back is Sam.
Well, Zeb will breathe out a little. Well, that was.
Doc, for you. Oh, go ahead, Zeb. Sorry.
Well, that was more. That was a little bit more exciting than I thought it was going to be.
Doc, it is strange to you because you're the only one of the group who has seen the body, and this man looks exactly like the body you saw. And you were also the one who remembers that, based off of the description and looking at it, that this is exactly what somebody who is in the congregation should look like if they are male.
Yeah, I was going to say, it shouldn't surprise me, right? But maybe kind of is unnerving. Because I just kind of was rifling around with this dead body that looked exactly like this person.
So then who was the dead person?
The other one, right? Multiples of it? Of the same body? Or seemingly? They're identical?
Sam walks up, hands down, and I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to have to hide. Well, you see, I was on mission in Tulsa when I first met Melody, and she was so sweet to me. She was such a sweet woman, and then I fell in love. And with her not being part of the congregation, I knew that the congregation would never accept our marriage. So, well, I left my mission, and so we set all this up. And, well, one day, today, in fact, I went up to the room to freshen up before dinner, and there was Henry Goodman, my mission partner. He'd found me, and he wanted to take me back. And I didn't know what to do, so I just asked him if I could use the restroom. And while I was in the restroom, someone came into the room, and I heard her yell at Henry, but shouting my name, and then I heard a thud, and then the door opened and closed again. I was so scared I couldn't move. When I came out, he was dead, and I ran and hid. Sorry for the trouble I caused.
Russell's very confused at this point. He's scratching his head, and I would like for him to roll vigilance. He doesn't understand, so he's trying to suss it out.
Okay.
So could I please roll vigilance just to see what his reaction's going to be to this, just to see how much he understands. So I'm guessing 2 purple, as per usual.
Yep.
Yeah.
2 purples.
Yeah. So he totally does not understand, and so he's like, he stands up to his full height and he says, "You led an innocent man die. Who do you think you are?"
He looks confused and then smiles, and it's fine. I understand. You probably aren't used to members of the congregation. It's fine.
A man is dead.
Yes, and it's a tragedy. And he puts his arm around Melody. We get to start our lives.
Can I do something really crazy?
I don't think I've stopped y'all yet.
I want to punch him.
Yep. Go ahead.
Because, yeah, allowing another man to be framed for to be murdered in his place and then going and hiding, and none of it is according to Russett's code of honor. So I'm gonna just 2 purple for that as well. Does he have any armor?
None.
Oh my god! Yeah, I completely fumble. So raising myself up, just completely miss, fall over onto the ground, and am completely humiliated.
Ugh. It's okay. I went and I found Brother Macklemore, and he was able to find Melody. We can still have a ceremony. I'd be happy. But while the 3 of us were hiding together, Melody said she couldn't wait any longer. So this is good, right? Happy ending for everybody except Henry?
Pipes in, clears his throat. This is all very weird and romantic. But I would like to point out we've solved, in a way, 2 murder cases and a missing person case. I think our original payment isn't going to be enough. Also, we worked at least 15 minutes overtime.
Are you asking me? Make that charm roll versus 2 purples.
Wah, wah. Just don't get paid at all. Or perhaps
Here, I'll do this. Make a negotiation roll instead.
Not gonna help. It's the same roll.
Even better.
So much better.
Your negotiation skills are not the best, and they say the overtime is unacceptable. In fact, if anything, you accomplished the goal 15 minutes late. So I think that 60
on 100, and I'll be on my way.
That's 60 that for the
100.
4 of you.
I'd like to roll deception.
Okay.
It's when I'm actually got stats in.
Hey, and I will help him.
I'm gonna flip a point. So it's gonna be versus a purple and a red.
And I'm gonna help him.
And add a black.
Can I give him advantage?
You can try to hex.
Yes, I will try to hex them.
Okay. Versus the 2 purples. A purple and a red. Purple and a red, because you're trying to do it sneaky, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, Monroe has walked over and he's getting himself some water.
Well-deserved water. Been crawling around the hotel all night.
Roll it, Zeb.
Russet's punching the floor.
Shit.
I hex the hell out of him.
Yeah, you do.
He just died.
Shit! Wow.
Nice.
I don't know what that triumph's going to do for the hex, but I do it.
Well, what do you want to do with it?
He has a second thought of about the the extra payment for all that, because he has a moment where the unkind kind of flutters across his, like if somebody walked across his grave, and maybe he's trying to cheat us.
Okay, so make your deception roll against a single purple.
Still with the black.
You'll still have the black. Okay. So how do you? So you're going to convince him of the 100.
Yeah. I'd really love for the try. I mean, I would love for it to be double, but I'd be happy with just 100 for each of us.
He says, "I'll tell you what. You're right. You have done something great here. And how about, instead of paying you the 60 as we initially agreed, the 100 that I first suggested, how about I pay you double what we agreed on? 120 apiece."
Okay. And free drinks too.
Oh, absolutely. You will be treated as if you were a high roller here, and rooms if you'd like them.
Of course. stress. Drink.
So wait, how much did we get a piece?
You get 120 apiece.
Okay.
I'm giving 3/4 of that to Doc. So Doc gets 90 from me.
I'll pay for it. Supplies. Might think about using them next time.
And go ahead and make a let's see. Zeb, I know you're going to spend as much of the night as you can playing some games of chance. Doc, you going to do the same thing?
Yeah, I'm feeling rich for the first time in a long time.
Cool. Play versus let's see, a cool roll versus 2 purples, but both of you add 2 blues. And this time each success is worth 20. $40 for the Doc. $60 for Zeb.
No, you guys are really good at cards.
They're good at lying. No, keeping a straight face. That's what it is.
Exactly.
So
it's an art form that I will be happy to teach anybody for a modest fee.
So here we go, guys. That's the end of it. That's the end of your murder mystery. I hope you're able to enjoy that game, and we will schedule our next game. And no, right now it's scheduled for on top of Mr. Mike's birthday, so we will move that. And yeah, so thanks for playing, guys.